Judy.
We've been waiting so patiently.
The Conjuring Last Rites. The supposed final chapter in the mainline series has finally arrived, and with it comes a question that's long overdue. What has this franchise really done to horror? This isn't a review of Last Rites. It's an autopsy of the Conjuring phenomenon, the biggest and actually safest horror brand of our time. Horror is a transaction. We offer our tension and our unease, and in return, we expect a confrontation with the unknown. True horror lingers. It makes the world feel different when you leave the theater. It asks uncomfortable questions. The Conjuring universe, the highest-grossing horror franchise of all time, has perfected a different kind of transaction. It doesn't trade in lingering dread, but in a controlled, predictable, and ultimately safe form of fear. It has built a brilliantly designed haunted house ride, and in doing so has fallen into what I call the safe horror trap. To see the trap, we must first appreciate the illusion. Technically, the flagship Conjuring films are masterclasses in craft. James Wan isn't just making a movie, he's conducting an orchestra of audience nerves. He understands the architecture of a jump scare better than almost anyone. But his real skill is in the build-up, the bus, as he calls it, that makes the eventual crash effective. Consider the hide and clap scene.
Hey, wanna play hide and clap?
The tension isn't just in the clap, it's in the darkness. The shallow breathing, the way the camera pans, putting us in Carolyn's disoriented perspective. It's masterful. But this technical prowess is used in service of a deeply conservative, almost childish moral framework. The Conjuring presents a world without moral ambiguity. The evil is a literal, biblically defined demon. The good is a nuclear family and their faith in God, channeled through the expert and flawless Warrens. There is no room for the complex horror of, say, The Shining, where the monster is the father and the crumbling family unit. There's no societal critique like in Get Out. The Perron family's only sin is buying a house. Their goodness is a given. This creates a safety net. The audience never has to question if the victims deserved it, or if the heroes have ulterior motives. The horror is externalized, simplified, and made manageable. It's not a reflection of a broken world, but a violation of a sacred, orderly one. This safety isn't an accident, it's engineered. The Conjuring operates on a narrative formula as rigid as a sonnet. Let's deconstruct this engine. Step 1. The sinless victim.
Here we are. Wow. Hear that?
I don't hear anything.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Okay. Guys.
The family is always loving, attractive, and morally pure. They are blank slates, their only flaw being innocent. This contrasts sharply with horror that finds terror in domestic dysfunction, like in Hereditary or The Babadook. Step 2. The historical info dump.
So what was the original 200-acre farm has since been subdivided and sold off. There was another boy who drowned in a pond here. He lived in a house over here. And a woman who worked as a maid in a neighboring home, she committed suicide too.
The haunting is always tied to a specific, researchable historical event. A witch, a suicide, a curse. This replaces mystery with a solvable puzzle. The fear isn't, what is this unknowable thing? But how do we apply the rules we just learned? Step 3. The expert intercession. The Warrens arrive not as fellow humans out of their depth, but as supernatural detectives. They are the translators. They provide the exposition that demystifies the threat.
I've been seeing the dark entity that haunts your house and your land.
This is a crucial step in making the horror safe. It moves the problem from the realm of emotion and psychology to the realm of procedure. The solution isn't soul-searching, it's a specific ritual. Step 4. The third act exorcism.
Vade retro, Satana. Defende nos semper elio.
The climax is always a direct physical confrontation between the forces of good and the forces of evil. It's a superhero finale in a haunted house. The outcome is never in doubt. The formula guarantees a restoration of order. The demon is defeated, the family is saved, and the moral universe is reaffirmed. This is the core of the trap. The scares are just set dressing on a predetermined path to victory. We are never truly scared for the characters because the formula has already promised us a happy ending. The fear is a temporary thrill, a roller coaster dip, not a genuine threat to the narrative's world order. A successful formula is one thing. The Conjuring's true legacy, however, is its industrialization of this safety, turning horror into a content universe. The moment The Conjuring became a universe, it committed to a Marvel-style model of brand management.
After we made the first movie, it became very apparent that Annabelle was one of the most favorite characters. It felt like Annabelle wanted to have her own movie.
Every ghost, every doll, every artifact in the Warrens' cluttered room was no longer a mere element of a story. It was intellectual property waiting for its own origin story. This is where the franchise actively dismantles its own scariness. In The Conjuring 2, Valak is an utterly terrifying presence, a mysterious, malevolent silhouette in a painting. Then, in The Nun, we get a full-blown origin story. We see where it came from. We see its weaknesses. It becomes a tangible creature that can be fought, punched, and tricked. The more you explain a monster, the smaller it becomes. Mystery is the oxygen of horror, and the franchise suffocates it in a quest for expanded runtimes and shared universe connections. But the most profound result of this industrialization is an emotional one: the total elimination of stakes. As viewers, we never, for a single moment, fear that a main character will be lost. When a child is levitating over a dresser, or a mother is brandishing a knife, we feel a programmed jump, but not genuine dread. We are watching a ritual where the outcome is guaranteed. The family will be saved, the Warrens will win. The horror is a temporary glitch. Contrast this with a film like Demian Rugna's When Evil Lurks. Within the first act, the film establishes its brutal rules by eliminating a child character in a sudden, shocking, and uncompromising way. This single event shatters any illusion of safety. It tells the audience that no one is protected by plot armor, that the evil here is indiscriminate and unstoppable. The horror of When Evil Lurks isn't in the jump scares, it's in the gut-wrenching tension of not knowing who will be next, or how gruesomely they will be taken. The film earns its dread by being willing to go there. The Conjuring, by contrast, is never willing to go there. Its commitment to the comfort of its formula and to the preservation of its brand-friendly characters means it can never truly threaten its audience. One is a safe thrill. The other is a genuine confrontation with danger. The Conjuring franchise has built an entire empire on the former, convincing millions that this is what horror is supposed to be. The safety of The Conjuring isn't just narrative or industrial, it's deeply ideological. It offers a theology of comfort. The franchise presents a world where faith is not a complex, personal struggle, but a literal weapon. A crucifix isn't a symbol, it's a shield. A Bible verse isn't poetry, it's a laser blast. This is a profoundly comforting fantasy, especially for a modern audience living in a complex, morally gray world. The Conjuring offers a retreat into a medieval morality play. Now, my argument here is not that every horror movie needs to be a symbolic masterpiece like Get Out, or a deep psychological excavation like The Babadook. There is a proud and fun tradition of simple, straightforward horror. The problem with The Conjuring is that it takes this simplicity to an extreme of moral and narrative binary. The forces of good and evil are so clearly and rigidly defined that it eliminates all potential for nuance, ambiguity, or genuine thematic exploration. Contrast this with a film like The Exorcist, which is fundamentally a story about a crisis of faith. Father Karras is plagued by doubt, by the death of his mother, by the seeming silence of God. The horror is intertwined with his spiritual struggle. The Conjuring's Warrens never doubt. Their faith is a certainty, a superpower. The horror never challenges their worldview, it merely confirms it. This removes all thematic weight. The films never ask, why does God allow this to happen? Or is evil a force outside us or within us? The answers are prepackaged. Evil is a demon. God gives us the tools to fight it. The end. This fundamentalist certainty is the ultimate safety net. It assures the audience that the universe is orderly, that good and evil are clearly defined, and that the right team always wins. So, is it a sin to enjoy these films? No. They are well-crafted comfort food. But when this model becomes the dominant, most profitable form of horror, we must examine the cultural cost. The first cost is ambition and diversity. The staggering success of the Conjuring blueprint signals to studios that safe, formulaic, universe-ready horror is the most bankable product. This creates a gravitational pull that makes it harder for original, challenging, author-driven horror to get funded and find an audience. Why greenlight a weird, singular vision like It Follows or The Ritual when you can commission another Annabelle Comes Home? The second, more profound cost is the degeneration of horror's unique power as an art form. The greatest horror holds up a cracked mirror to our souls and our society. It forces us to confront our collective anxieties. The Conjuring, in its repetitive, formula-based quest for comfort, replaces the cracked mirror with a simple, binary storybook. It reassures us that our problems are external, nameable, and defeatable. It's the most confident expression of a formula that no longer dares to surprise. The Conjuring franchise didn't just make horror safe for audiences, it made it safe for corporations. It built a beautiful, gilded cage for the genre. It proved that a well-oiled machine can be more profitable than a dark, unpredictable, and vital work of art. And with the Last Rites concluding the Warren story, with its predetermined faith-based victory and clean moral lines, the franchise offers not a terrifying finale, but its final, guaranteed, and utterly unimaginative comfort. And in its immense success, it may have convinced a generation that the purpose of horror is to comfort us, rather than to challenge everything we think we know.